My name is Scott Moore, and I'm the principal here at the high school, and I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here with you guys this evening. This is my 10th year here in the district, and one of the things that I'm extremely passionate about is our Fort family, and really to be able to get some of our best back in this building and be able to see what this school has evolved into, and really what we're doing here at Fort Osage, because we really are doing some wonderful things. It's a pleasure to have you and your families here this evening, so thank you so much for taking the time to be here. We're so excited to have you join us for our Hall of Honor induction dinner. I want to take a few minutes just to introduce a few board members that are joining us this evening. We have board member David Shrout. We have president of the board Floyd Hawkins. We have board member Tim Brown. And we have board member Kelly Scott. Also, we have some administrators here with us this evening. We have our activities director, Ryan Schartz. We have our public relations director, Ms. Stephanie Smith. And then we have our superintendent, Dr. Jason Snodgrass. He was here, but he went to the basketball game. He'll be back because there's food here. His son's playing, understandable. Dinner is ready to be served over there. We'd ask that you please make your way to the buffet, and then we'll resume the program shortly. Thank you.
Okay, guys, I guess we'll get started. Again, my name is Ryan Schartz. I'm the activities director at Fort Osage High School. Hey, how about a round of applause for Stacy Waller and the food services? Wonderful meal. Well, I've been in the Fort Osage School District as a teacher, coach, and now administrator for over 20 years. And so I've been able to see a lot of people come through here. I recognize Philip. Philip is a 2005 graduate, so I was gone I left right about the time he was going through high school, and then I came back for the graduating class in 2006. But I remember Philip, and it's great to have all you guys back here at Fort Osage High School. Some things have not changed, but some things have. I'm using a Chromebook right here, okay? So this is a Chromebook. We are a one-to-one school district here, so every student gets a Chromebook, okay? And every administrator and teacher gets a Chromebook. So I'm using the Chromebook here tonight to talk about the Hall of Honor and to recognize some people here tonight. So let me give you some background on the Hall of Honor. The Hall of Honor was organized in 2011 as a way of maintaining the rich heritage and tradition of the successful athletic and activity programs here at Fort Osage High School. In addition, it will serve as a means of recognizing and preserving and honoring individuals who made significant contributions to Fort Osage High School. The Hall of Honor credits the contributions and accomplishments of these individuals who are worthy of recognitions and examples for others to emulate. The criteria that we set for the Hall of Honor is: number one, inductees shall be 10 years or more removed from Fort Osage High School. 2, must have distinguished himself or herself in the field of athletics or activities while a student here at Fort Osage High School. And 3, must have exemplified the highest standards of sportsmanship, ethical conduct, and character while a student here at Fort Osage. The 4th piece must be an upstanding citizen. It is our goal to induct one individual from each decade every year. So we're starting to fill up our Hall of Honor trophy case down there. If you haven't had a chance to look at that, we're starting to fill it up. And it's my goal in the next year, to try to create an interactive touch screen so that when you come back and return any new members, you can click on decades and names and find a bio of each person here. So we're working to get that done with our technology department. So if you haven't seen the display case, go down and check it out after this and before the ball game. So it's located right outside the gymnasium there, and it's a nice display case. Our past inductees are, and I'll read the names here: Dwayne Johnson, class of 1956; Charles Dyer, class of 1958; Jim Tracy, class of 1959; Larry Young, class of 1961; Bruce Van Dyke, class of 1962; Carol White Shropshire, class of 1963; Jerry D. Brown, class of 1963, who is with us tonight. Richard Smokey Dyer, class of 1966. John Mueller, also here tonight, class of 1969. Dennis Van Arsdale, class of 1970. Jerry Coleman, class of 1970. Tom Hamilton, class of 1974. Dr. Michael D. Lattimore, class of 1974. Andrew Yates, class of 1975. Larry Gant, class of 1979. The Reverend Margaretta Smith Narcisse, class of 1982. Tracy Kinsey, class of 1982. Jerry Charpy, class of 1984. Pat Siefker, class of 1986. Kevin Williams, class of 1986. Bo Vaifi, class of 1988. James Moreno, class of 1990. Betty Lennox, class of 1995. Amber Reynolds, class of 1997. Albert Pujols, class of 1998. Brent Wilhelm, class of 1991. Corey Crandall, class of 1999. Jeremy Braden, class of 2002. Brandy Bill Bassick, class of 2004. Nathan Hausman, class of 2004. And Samantha Williams, class of 2005. It's quite a list of people there, all of which very deserving. This whole process would not have been possible without our selection committee members. Our selection committee members serve a 3-year term. Each year we've been faced with outstanding nominees, which makes it very difficult to choose and narrow down one person from each decade. But on behalf of the Fort Osage High School, we thank you for sharing your time and talent with us, for helping us find our nominees. The inductees of 2017-2018 school year. Here we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some bio on each one of these individuals. If you wouldn't mind just remaining seated, and then when I'm done, I'll ask you to come up. I'll present you with a plaque, take a photo, and a round of applause. So the first member, going in, Randy Ferris, class of 1968. Randy retired from public education in 2014. And he's currently a volunteer coach at Lee Summit High School. I think he's going to try to catch the second half of a game tonight, he told me. So he's going to get parked for it, then go back to Lee Summit and help try to win that game. But while at Fort Osage, he was involved in football, basketball, debate, drama, and categories, which is called Quiz Bowl. He earned a Bachelor of Science in Education from Central Missouri and a Master's in Athletic Administration from William Woods. In his years as a coach, he had the opportunity to coach 1 NBA player, 2 European professionals, 4 NCAA Division I players, and numerous JUCO, NCAA Division II and III, and NAIA players. He was the head coach at Park University, and he had the only winning record in the 1980s. He has also served as Director of Athletics and Admission. He is the winningest coach in Grandview High School history, with a record of 223 wins to 147 losses. His basketball accomplishments include 5 conference championships, 7 district championships, 3 sectional championships, 3 Show Me Bowl showdowns, or Show Me showdowns, 9 state top 10 rankings, a state runner-up in 2009, and district coach of the year in 2009, 2012, 2013, 2014. He was the college head baseball coach at Wentworth Military Academy, and he was the Crest Ridge Teacher of the Year. One of his fondest memories at Fort Osage High School was when he saw then-student Larry Nelson score 6 touchdowns in a game. He knew that he wanted to be part of Fort Osage High School as a 13-year-old boy. He and his wife Rose have been married for 38 years. They are blessed with 2 children, James and wife Jasmine, and twin grandchildren with the daughter Anne Marie. At this moment, I'd like to ask Mr. Randy Ferris to come receive his plaque and induction to the Hall of Honor. Take a picture here.
I talked him into letting me talk for a second. I want to thank everyone who made this honor possible, but I want you to know the 3 people that made my life as an adult possible. And those three people are Coach Schauberg, Coach Hedger, and Coach Banker. Coach Schauberg came in as head coach of basketball my senior year, and I had never known how a basketball coach was supposed to act. He came in and he had a practice schedule, and we followed that practice schedule. And if we didn't follow that practice schedule, we ran. And then I learned from that how to run a basketball program. Didn't know at that point. I had other plans. I wanted to be a lawyer and everything else at that time. I didn't know what I was going to be. But then when I became a basketball coach, I became successful as a basketball coach because of Kim Schauberg. Jerry Hedger, who just passed a year and a half or so ago, was the football coach, and he came into a really, really bad situation. As you can tell, at 68, we were kind of down in sports, but we got those two coaches in, and they turned things around. And Jerry Hedger taught me that you don't give up. We ran a 100-yard sprint every night for every point we lost by if we lost the game on last Friday. Mike Fink from Park Hill, what did he get? 6 touchdowns? They ran the single wing, and you never knew where he was. And we ran 40 sprints every night, Monday through Thursday, and then I can't remember who we played the next game, but, you know, some of the guys wanted to quit, but Hedger instilled in me, you know, there's a price to pay for success. And Hedger did that with, we were seniors, but with those sophomores, there was a really good sophomore class. With those sophomores, by the time they were seniors, he had them. So I learned that, and that's a life lesson, not just for sports, but for everything else I've done in life, you know, to stick to it. And then Louis Banker, probably the greatest coach I've ever met in my life. And it's why I can stand up here and talk to you now, so I don't even have to explain that.
Thank you for those words, Randy. I know all of us in this room have had a teacher or coach that has impacted their lives. It's so nice of you to share that with us. I know I have too. Okay, the next member is Deborah Thompson Barnett, class of 1978. And she's married to Les. Daughter, Savannah, graduated in 2016 from Fort Osage High School. She's retired from Kaiser Permanente as Director of Compliance and Business Management Officer. She received a bachelor's degree in dance from UMKC, and she holds a bachelor's degree in Human Resource Management and a Master of Science in Management Information Systems, both from Friends University. She takes her certified emotional support dog to nursing homes and private homes for company. She was a pharmacy technician for Independence Regional, North Kansas City Hospitals. She was a pharmacy analyst for Cerner and was one of the first to install pharmacy systems for Cerner. She has been a systems analyst for Broward Hospital District and Truman Medical Centers and Kansas University School of Medicine. She served as the Dean of Academics for National American University. And her hobbies include seamstress, digitizer, and embroider, amateur photo, and videographer. She was very active in debate, acting in Spanish clubs while at Fort Osage. Junior year, she was president of the Pep Club. One of her fondest memories was that her class was the first to occupy the newly built junior high, now Osage Trail Middle School. At this point, I'd like to invite Deborah Barnett Thompson to receive her plaque and induction to the Fort Osage Hall of Honor. Very good. So as president of the Pep Club, I got to ask you.
Yes.
Did you have a favorite cheer, chant, anything like that? We can bring it back tonight. You know, William Christman's here.
No.
No?
It was, we were just full of a lot of energy.
Well, I hope we do you proud tonight.
I'm sure they will.
All right, the next person, Ricky Lampier, 1981. Ricky is retired. He's continuing his education and by pursuing his bachelor's degree from Regent University. He's also earned an associate's degree from State Fair Community College. His wife Melissa is here. His son Reginald, who graduated in 2013. He's very involved in his church, the New Salem Baptist Church. And while high school, he was involved with football and track. By the way, if you didn't notice, we're getting a new football field and a new track out there. It's going to be really nice. It should be ready to roll late June out here, so you'll have to come back and check that out. One of his most memorable moments from high school in a football game is when he ran an 85 yards on a kickoff return for a touchdown, and then he spiked the football. I don't know, did they flag you?
Yeah.
Nowadays they flag you. You can't get away with that anymore. It's my honor to bring Ricky up to the podium and receive his plaque. I'm starting to get a little excited out there. We had the girls play last night, Chrisman High School last night. I don't know if you guys heard about it. If you ever want to get updates on some of our activities, follow my Twitter handle, Osage AD. You can keep up to date on that stuff. We had a barn burner last night. Our girls took care of business. Dr. Hawkins was there, and I was pretty excited about that. It was a big win. So hopefully we can get it done tonight too. So, all right, the next member. Serena Lowe, class of 1993. While a student at Fort Osage High School, she was involved in debate, student council, newspaper, FBLA, and the French Club. She attended National in Lincoln Douglas debate in 1993. She earned a bachelor's degree in International and Public Affairs from Westminster College, an MA in International Development Studies, and a Master's in Public Education from George Washington University. She holds a PhD in Public Administration from American University. She served 10 years as a volunteer for the American Red Cross in a variety of roles at local, regional, and national levels. She's heavily involved in community service, including monthly food service to the homeless, and works with the Capital Alliance for Immigration Reform, just to name a few. Currently, she is the Senior Policy Advisor in Administration for Community Living for the United States Department of Health and Senior Services, where she is the liaison for the agency and working with the Centers for Medical and Medicare Services. One of her greatest memories from high school was working on a grant to receive federal funding for the HIV/AIDS Education Initiative. She took the lead as a student and was inspired by the commitment of the staff who pitched in to help. Fort Osage was one of only 9 schools in the country to receive the grant. She is joined this evening by her family, including her daughter Isabella. It's my honor to induct you into the Hall of Fame. Come on up and receive your plaque.
She does get the award for traveling the farthest.
Yeah, she came from D.C., Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, for this event. So we
my
appreciate
family
that.
still lives here.
Family's still
Debbie
here.
Lowe and my sister-in-law Janet Lowe all live here, so it was a
Awesome.
good excuse. So
Yeah, glad to have you. Okay, rounding out our class this year, Philip Enlow, class of 2005. Wife Janice here with him. He's a vocal music teacher at Van Horn High School in Independence. He attended Southwest Baptist University. He and his wife are supporters of Community Services League and active in Church of the Four Corners. They're staying busy planning a mission trip to Central Africa later this summer. While in high school, he played tennis. He was in choir for 4 years and made all-state choir his junior and senior years. He now sings professionally with the Kansas City Choral, who has won Grammys for Best Choral Performance in 2012 and 2015. While in high school, he was named the George Caleb Bingham Academy of Arts Vocalist of the Year, 2005. One of his most memorable moments from high school was singing with Touch of Class at Tantera for then music teacher Julie Cato, and it was her last performance. There was much emotion from the singers in the audience. I remember Julie. I'd like to ask Philip to come up and receive his plaque and induction to the Hall of Honor. Philip, I think that's the same exact crown we use now, still. So your DNA is on that somewhere? Sure. It's awesome. Guys, I'd like to give a special thank you to the Fort Osage Alumni Association for helping to organize the Hall of Honor. Really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you guys. At this time, Carol Brown, President of the Alumni Association, would like to come up and say a few words.
Very few words, promise. Thank you guys for coming. We so appreciate having you back home. And we're so proud of all your accomplishments. Nice seeing you again. It is just so wonderful to have you all back, and we truly are very proud of it. And I hope you guys come back and visit us more. We have alumni banquet coming up May 12th, and you're all invited to come. It's an all-school banquet, so have some very old people and some younger ones as well. So, but do please plan to try to come. That would be just awesome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, so our evening will conclude down at the Fort Osage High School basketball game versus William Chrisman High School tonight. I've got some reserve seating for you guys. Kind of behind the home team bench. It's marked off with yellow tape, and it's got some things on it. So feel free to stay for the game. We'll do an honoring at halftime as well. We'll bring you back out. So we'd love to see you down there.
Talk for a moment on that.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi. Good evening again. Stephanie Smith. For those who I haven't met, I am your liaison for halftime. So with about 1.5 to 2 minutes left in the game, we would ask all of our, in the half, I'm sorry. I keep doing that all day today. We will get you back out into the commons area where you'll meet me. As soon as halftime starts, we have our cheerleaders that will be escorting you, and so we'll give you some instructions there. And the lovely plaques that we just gave you, I'm going to need to take those back, and then we'll give them back to you at halftime of the game. So I promise I'll keep them in good stead for that first half. But again, about 1.5, 2 minutes in, right before the half, we'll bring you out to the commons and give you some future instructions. If you're not able to stay for the game for some reason, please just let me know, because I want to make sure you keep your plaque then and take it with you. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, there's reserved seating down there. We won't be back up here, so take your stuff with you and head down to the game. And you're welcome to stay for the entire game. I hope it's a good game. So, at this point, I guess I want to thank you one more time for coming and celebrating with us. Again, I like this school district. I've been here a long, long time. And I plan to be here into the future. So, we'd love to have you back and see your faces back at all the activities that we have here at Fort Osage. And again, thanks for being here, and go Indians.